Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today we're doing a ProCase desktop cigar humidor review. So ProCase reached out to me via email a few weeks ago asking me if I would do a review on their newest product. Now they're used to ProCase, right? So that's the name of their the whole company. So they do a lot of like stuff for like cell phones, tablets, jewelry, all kinds of different stuff. I'll put like the thing on the website for them, but they're on Amazon, right? So they reached out to me to do a review of this humidor because it's new to them. They're pushing out on the market, and I was like, sure. And the original email was they're going to pay me. And I said, don't pay me because I'll just do an honest review, and we'll just go with that. And we were going back and forth because, you know, I am not the biggest fan of desktop humidors because they never are very good at keeping humidity. So I have a couple like wooden box ones. Now this one's supposed to be like a clear top. So I haven't opened the box yet. We're about to get into that. But I told her, I was like, hey, if it's not gonna keep humidity, I'm gonna probably trash it. So don't even send it to me. She was very confident in her product, or they were, and she's like, no, we've tested it. It's the humidity stays longer than our competitors. I'm like, all right. So as long as you're confident about it, so we're about to go right into the unboxing. Okay, this is the box it came in from Amazon. You like my broken Leatherman? This is my Amazon cutting tool. I don't even know. So they have two different sizes, a medium and a large. And I don't know which one they even sent to me. Okay, so it comes like every other thing in Amazon where they put this crap inside a box and hoping the manufacturer does a good job. And let's see, this is like a receipt. Don't need that. Okay, handle with care, fragile. Okay, let's see, this tells me what size. Warning. Oh, so this is all a bunch of different languages. It starts with German, so this is a German company. Made in China though, but it's a German company. See, ProCase wood cigar medium dark brown. So they sent me the medium one, which the medium one was 20 to 25 cigars. So that's one thing we're gonna do. We're gonna test to see the capacity, because how many times you guys bought a cigar humidor and you know it doesn't fit half the stuff that they say. So we're gonna see what sizes actually fit in there and everything. So we'll do that. See what else is. Let's see how this box is. Oh, okay. Let's see. All right, pads, corners. Okay, it comes well packaged. I'll tell you that. Okay. We don't need any of that. All right. Okay, it looks pretty. So we got a little package dust on it. No big deal. Okay. Ooh, a felt bottom. Okay, so I'll show you guys what it looks like. You know, it's got a little latch. This is just the bottom is felt. Okay, so one thing I saw on the website that I was like, oh, I'm gonna like that feature, is the latch. Because a lot of these wood ones they just close, and that's part of why they don't keep good humidity. So we shall see. Ooh, cedar lined. You can definitely smell the cedar, so that's cool. All right, so don't eat. Okay, has instructions. They're very important. Okay, I'll show it to you guys while I read these instructions real quick. Okay, both of these are the same exact thing, looks like. Looks like they just put two in here. Okay, so wipe interior with a damp sponge or towel before first use. Use distilled water or humidifying solution in your humidifier. Fill humidifier by partially filling a bowl of water, placing humidifier upside down halfway in the bowl. Leave in water for about 3 minutes. Wipe off excessive water. All right. I think I figured this out. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty confusing instructions, because the humidifier, I'm thinking of the humidor, right? I'm like, why am I putting this humidor in the thing? So this, all right, so this humidifier part right here. It slides out. It's got a rubber on the sides to make it, you know, squeeze in there. Now, ooh, what is this little thing? Squeeze water. Oh, this is a cool little gadget. So this is a grab water and put it in here. So if you guys don't need a plastic. So these open up. Now, that's not what it says to do, but I'm just gonna kind of show you what's in here. So inside of these, some humidors come with these things. I use Boveda packs, but I will just use what comes with this for the review. But after the review, and I'm going to do like a review in 6-ish months to kind of see if how it's going, and I'll be using Boveda packs. But I'll just use how it comes because, you know, I don't, you know, if you're buying this and you don't want to spend extra money and it comes with a humidifier thing, why wouldn't you use it, right? So you basically put water on this and it absorbs the water, and that's kind of like how the humidity, it's like a little sponge type thing. So it says to fill it up, fill humidifier by partially filling a bowl of water, placing the humidifier upside down halfway in the bowl, leave it in water for 3 minutes, wipe off excess water. So what I'm going to do, because that seems craziness, I'm going to open this up and I'm going to use this little tool and squeeze distilled water on it until it looks like it's fully soaked, and then I'll put it back in here. So, but this is a cool little humidifier area. Now it takes up some space, and a Boveda pack would it, but now this also has a hygrometer built in, and yeah, oh, and a thermostat. Now that's in Celsius, and there is a button back here. I'm sure I can put it on. Wait, what's this button? All right. I'm sure I cut all that stuff. I'm like over here playing around with stuff. This is in Celsius. I'm sure there's a way to put it in Fahrenheit. So I'll figure that out. Okay, so back to this. So install humidifier in humidor and leave closed for 24 hours. So that's basically seasoning. So seasoning tells you to, you know, wipe down the wood, the cedar, with a damp sponge or towel before first use. A lot of these desktop things say the same thing. So I'll do that, and I'll fill this up with distilled water. I'll leave it in here for 24 hours, and then I'll come back, see how it's going. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me read this whole thing. And then it says, open humidor, refill the humidifier, and reinstall. Leave closed for another 24 hours. This will season and prepare humidor for initial use. Now that's interesting, right? So I've done, I have a bunch of different humidors. I have a stand-up one that kind of looks like the see-through one that's over there. Doesn't hold humidity whatsoever because it doesn't have a good seal. But I have tons of like desktop wood ones, different sizes. Usually, they tell you like 24 hours and you're good. This actually says to basically do it again. So, you know, seasoning is crucial to any humidor, and I feel like a lot of people skip that stuff. They just throw their cigars in here, and then it doesn't hold humidity. You have to make sure that the actual box is a humid thing for your cigars before you put cigars in there, because then it's just sucking it all up, and your cigars aren't getting the humidity that they need. Okay, so periodically check humidity level and remoisten the humidifier as needed. Okay, humidity gauge, do not remove gauge installed in the humidor. Okay, so don't take this part out. The gauge installed in the humidor is pre-calibrated and needs no adjusting or pre-operation prep. Store cigars with the gauge reads between 65 and 75. Store your humidor in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight and heating or air-conditioned ducts. All right, so we will be using this. I do have a Govee that I'm going to also put in here to track on my phone. And, you know, part of the review is to see how good the hygrometer is that comes with the actual humidor. So we'll definitely test that. So it doesn't say anything about changing it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, but there is. Maybe I'll reach out and find out if there's a way to put it in Fahrenheit. No, I guess I could just learn Celsius, huh? Okay, so let's get into the wiping down with a sponge and everything. Let's season this for the first step. Actually, before I do that, one thing I want to do is see how many cigars this holds. So we can do that before we season it. So I'm gonna put this back how it would fit in here. And now this is supposed to hold 20 to 25 cigars. So I'm gonna bring out a bunch of cigars and see what happens. All right, so this is just a Humidor that I use for my cheapos. This is my overflow. So these are a bunch of Churchill sizes. So it said 20 to 25, right? So Churchill would be, you know, one of the larger sizes of cigars. So if it could fit at least, what, say 20 to 25, I'd be shocked, because these are probably the biggest ones you're gonna. Now, it doesn't look like it's gonna go this way. Nope. So they would have to go this way. So let's see. Okay. Two different size Churchills. One's a little bit fatter and one's a little bit longer, but they both say Churchill on the wrapper. Okay, so we have 7 across, and there's room. I think it's actually going to get 20 in here. I think it's going to get 21. We'll see. Okay, we have another 7, and yeah. Okay, so it's going to be able to fit 21. Wow, that's actually impressive to me. I didn't think it's going to. The capacity levels are always, you know. All right, so closes, and there's still room. That's 21. So 20, 25, and obviously you could fit maybe a couple other like Robustos up here. So it definitely fits within that range. Now let's try a Robusto size this way. Okay, I just grabbed a couple of handfuls out of my big cigar humidor. And so these are all around Robusto sizes. So these should all fit this way, which they do. Some of these are a little bit longer than others, but around that Robusto size. So let's see. All right, so how many fit across? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 11 fit across. And you know, there's room, it's not too tight. There's room on all sides. So 11 across, so it's gonna fit 33. It's gonna fit 33. I'm actually shocked that this is under promising the size that it can fit, but I guess it couldn't fit too much more than 20 for the Churchill side. Now Toros, this is probably a Toro. Let's see. This is a Toro size, and this fits perfectly up and down with still like a ½ inch. So Toros, Robustos around that size would fit perfectly, you know, this direction up and down, and anything over a Toro like Churchill's would be the opposite way. But this fits good sizes. So this is another 11. So right now we're at 22. So you can leave like that and it'll be fine. But let's see if it can fit a whole nother row. Now you don't want to really overfill a cigar humidor, but you know, if you can, and if you need to, you know, just seeing the capacity. Okay, so that's another. I put a couple of, no, I could fit one more. Okay, 33, and it says it's 20 to 25, so that's pretty good. I grabbed exactly 33 without even trying, so that's awesome. All right, so now that we know the capacity, the construction looks good. I do like it, looks pretty. Comes with a built-in humidor. The humidification system isn't my favorite. I would definitely use Boveda packs. This does work, this one. So let's go into seasoning now. Okay, I'm only doing this because the instructions tell me to. This is not how I would season this. I would season it with Boveda packs, but they actually sell Boveda packs that are meant to get your humidor ready. Okay, so I got a brand new sponge. I'm using distilled water. And it said, wipe interior with damp sponge or towel before first use. Okay, so I'm gonna take this back out now that I'm gonna season all of this. So I'm just getting it just enough wet. I don't want it to like, you know, I don't want it to make this soaking, just enough to get moisture in here. Basically painting it lightly. I feel like Bob Ross. You paint your humidor in a nice way. No happy accidents here. All right, I'm gonna moisten this part as well, because why not? It's inside the humidor. It's cedar. The inside as well. This would be the thing that would take the most, I guess. Absorb the most humidity, since it's right where it's coming from, the humidity. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this in the middle. Well, I don't need to put that in right now. I'm going to put that in the middle. Now, if you're home and you don't have distilled water, one, it's like $1. You can even get it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure that's where I got these from. You can use tap water. I would recommend not doing it. Obviously, the instructions don't say that, but you know, your tap water has stuff in it that can affect your cigars. You know, it's really, you know, it's your money, it's your humidor, it's your cigars. You do what you want, but you know, having a gallon of distilled water around, you know, it's good for your cigars. Like I use this for my big cigar humidor. I don't use Bovita packs. It's, you know, self-regulating thing. It's an electric humidor. So I have it all the time. Okay, you basically do this until you kind of see the water going all the way through to the bottom. This little sponge thing absorbs a lot of water. Actually going to flip it. Yeah, see the bottom side is completely dry, but it's more than halfway through. Okay, I spilled some, but it's okay. What I don't want is water on the outside of the plastic. Putting this in the middle, so I can, I don't know, do a better job. All right. This will sit here for 24 hours and I'll come back and redo it again. All right, so I'm back for day 2, and according to this hygrometer, it is 70% humidity. So that's actually pretty good. That's kind of where you want to start out, get it to, I guess. So what we're gonna do is do it again. As soon as I opened it, it went to 63%. So now 60. So going off of the actual directions, it says, you know, get a bowl and put it in. So I got a plate that's kind of a bowl-y, but it would fit flat. And I didn't have any bowls that would fit not flat like this. So I'm gonna do what they actually say to do. It says for 3 minutes. Doing like science experiments over here. Okay, so that should absorb a lot of that. So while that's happening, I'm going to wipe down the inside again. Now it doesn't say that in the instructions, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Because I really, seasoning, I'm telling you, very critical, especially to these wood humidors. All right, it's been 3 minutes. It says to wipe off the excess, which you definitely don't want puddles of water in there. That's gonna ruin your cedar real fast. That's why when you're wiping it down with the sponge, you know, you're not putting a lot of water. You're just kind of changing in color a little bit of the wood, the cedar. See, now you got all this wasted water. I like the little, that method a little bit. It's more precise, and spending a lot of time just wiping it off the thing anyways. So it comes with it. Might as well use a little dropper thing. All right, I'm gonna put it in the middle again. Put a little bit more. Actually, you know what? I want to put it sideways today. Kind of just do that way so it's not tug on anything. And I have a Govee, which it's like it's a hydrometer temperature thing, but it has an app so I can track it on my phone. And I know this is calibrated because that's my most consistent Govee out of the 8 I have. So I'm gonna put that in there and kind of see if this hygrometer is close to my Govee. So it says for another 24 hours. We'll be back with the final results. All right, it's been another day and a little bit, day and a half. And it says store cigars when gauge reads between 65 and 75%. It is 74%. Now my Govee's reading a little bit lower, so we'll see how it is after a week. So my plan in this little quick part of the video is just to load it up, set it up, and don't touch it for a week. My goal is kind of look at the gauge that comes with it over the next few days, see how it's holding moisture, humidity, and checking my Govee as well. The Govee itself will track it like every day, but load this up. I'm gonna put in at 22 cigars. These are all Robusto and Toro size. So I'm not gonna fill it all the way to 33 like I did the other day. So we have 22. I'm gonna put the Govee right here, maybe right in there in the middle. And this should close. It does. Seal. And it's a good seal. That's what I'm really looking for. See, the hygrometer went down to 66% when I opened it. So, well, now 65. So we'll see how it is with the cigars. We'll give it a week and see how it's doing. See you then. All right, this is the final part. Now this has been about 5 days since I put the cigars in there. My Govee has been tracking that for the past 4 days, consistently been 68% humidity, right around that. It is reading 68 currently. I don't want to tilt it too much, but I'm sure you can hopefully see that. But 69, 68, right there. That's a good spot, especially in the desktop. I keep my electric one at like 65 because that's where I like my cigars at. But for a desktop wood humidor, I do like to keep it a little higher. Now the benefit of having the Govee in there is that you can put alerts on your Govee to alert you on your phone if it goes too high or too low. So that's always good with that stuff. So but that's again if you want to buy a Govee. Now what we're talking about today, we're talking about specifically the ProCase Humidor. So let's talk about pricing, because this thing works and shocked how good it works actually. So that's awesome. So I just went on Amazon to check the prices again, but this one, the medium one that fits 20 to 25 cigars, is $35.99, and the large one that fits 25 to 50 cigars is $42.99. So if I were to buy one, I'd probably buy the large one just because it's like $7 more and it fits double basically. So I would do that. Either way, there is a link to this humidor in the description. If you use that link make sure you use the code. So in the description, I'll have a link to the Amazon thing for this humidor. And if you want 15% off, the exclusive discount code will be there too. So copy and paste. There's a bunch of letters and numbers. So if you want to check them out, you know, the 50% discount code is active from 8/25 until 11/24 midnight. So about 3 months. And I do plan on doing, I think earlier in the video, or because earlier in the video you're watching it, a week ago, I talked about how I was gonna do like another review in 6 months. I'll do another review in like 2 months so that the code will still be active. What I'm gonna do, because I was thinking about it over the past couple of days, I'll just do kind of a rundown of different types of humidors. So like this one, I'll use as a desktop humidor, a tupperware, electric one, you know, different stuff. So I'll do that in a couple of months, recheck this one out to see how it's been doing. So that's that. So do I recommend this? Yes. Pros: it's affordable, it's pretty, it holds humidity. They got great customer service, and you get basically everything on Amazon. So you got Amazon, but their actual customer service, you can actually communicate with a human being. I've been dealing with customer service for something else this week, which has been terrible. So do love that. But you know, the latches are definitely a big pro for this design. Plenty of cedar wood in there. The humidifier part of this is good for what it is. Again, I would use Belvitas, but if you just bought this without buying anything else and just did this setup, it worked perfectly fine. The con, and we talked about this earlier, is that it's only in Celsius. So I did reach out to them. She did say the developers did say you can't change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit, which, okay. If that's the bad part, it is okay. It's fine, because really the important part is the humidity. It's not really the temperature. The temperature isn't being regulated. The temperature is whatever it's in, right? So if this is on top of your desk, whatever the room is, the temperature is like that. So I did check in the Govee, and I checked this the Celsius to Fahrenheit. That's 69 degrees, right around there. So good temperature for your cigars. Yeah, so that would be the one con. And the only thing I would say is, like, you know, this would be a good gift for someone that's maybe newer to cigars. I know I had a couple of my buddies over for Whiskey Cigar Club the other day, and one of my buddies that barely smokes cigars and my other buddy who smokes cigars all the time, both of them were interested in it for different reasons. The newer person wanted just to have a humidor at the house for, you know, the 10 cigars he would have. It's a perfectly little humidor that, you know, kind of takes care of itself. And my other friend who has a bunch of cigars, this is also good because he can have some cigars on his office desk. You know what I mean? So it's a good gift. If you want it for yourself, for someone else, affordable, I do recommend this. I do like this. I'm going to leave these cigars, just whatever random cigars I threw in here, for the next couple months. Because eventually I was gonna make this my wife's humidor for her Deadwood cigars, but I'll do that after I review it again. So don't do nothing stupid, and if you do, don't get caught. Bye.